Hello everyone, my name's Kai Zammit and I'm a director, cinematographer and writer, and in this video we're going to be looking at the War Within cinematic from World of Warcraft. To be honest with you guys, originally I wasn't even going to look at this cinematic until further down the line, until I've discovered more or learnt more about the history and the lore of this world. At the moment, to date, I've only seen the Wrath of the Lich King cinematic and all the cinematics to World of Warcraft, the Reforged edition. But you lovely people have persuaded me in the comment section, and so here we are. So yeah, let's play the tape. Wow, that's nice. Nice little pull focus. Lovely golden hour, virgin on blue. Is this going to be emotional? Wow, already this is stunning.
You're here to tell me we don't get to hide. Is that it?
You needed time. We stayed away. But time by itself heals nothing.
This is stunning. It's like an actual movie.
You didn't just come here for me. It's the visions. You've seen them.
I suspect many have lately.
I'm blown away by this. This is incredible.
Someone is calling out from the heart of the world, like a voice from a dream.
It's the shallow depth of field that they're doing.
Something dark is coming, Anduin. The world needs your light again. My son.
Oh. It must be something.
I'm not that person anymore. I have no light. Not after what I've seen. Not after what I've done.
Wow, what a performance.
You are not your past, Anduin. I trust you.
That's why I tell you guys, the eyes tell you everything. Made me jump there. I thought he stabbed him.
They're getting worse.
Right, maybe proper jump.
Look, whatever's coming, I'll stand with you. Of course I will. But we were drawn here by the voice. Who is it, Thrall? Who's calling out to us?
I'm not sure yet.
Could you imagine playing a game
But
that looked like this?
Sword was aimed at someone.
What the f... I'm absolutely flabbergasted by the size of that sword. I just want to start and say this is one of the most powerful cinematics I have ever seen. And the reason I say this is it's a story of the eyes. I mentioned it briefly while watching it, but the eyes is the most important part of the body when it comes to storytelling. It doesn't matter if you're a monster, an alien, or in this case, an orc. The reason being is the eyes tell you everything, how the character is emotionally, what they're thinking, and sometimes what they're going to do next. It's a powerful technique to use if you want your audience to feel the same. You want the audience to connect with the character. I know I did. I found myself getting emotional whilst watching it. It hit me right in the chest. There is no other body part that can get you to react or to connect with a character as fast as the eyes. I say this to students all the time. If you want to show how a character is feeling or it's an emotional scene, bring the camera to the face, the eyes. There's no point being in the corner of the room where you can't see anything. It doesn't translate to your audience. The last thing I want to say about the eyes, other than the reflection, so the catchment in the eyes, which I might bring up later, depending on how the editing goes, and it comes from my favourite shot in the cinematic where the orc arrives. When he arrives, the lead character blink turns, or in this case, he blink glances. It's exactly how it sounds. The character will blink to turn or blink to look. When working with talent, I always want them to do this when it involves a close-up or it's an integral part of the story. By blink turning, 1, it's more powerful, and 2, it's more sexy, should we say, or more visually appealing. It wasn't just the eyes that made this powerful, it was also the visual narrative used, the framing and the use of close-ups, like from ear to mouth, the tip of the sword, his hands. Not only did they establish the character to me, but they told me his current condition. He looks like he's been through the ringer. What enhanced this feeling to me, again the visual narrative, was the movement of the camera, the motion of it, handheld, free movement, uneasiness. It was used to reflect the current condition of the character. The orc character, forgive me for not saying their names as I don't want to butcher them or make a tit of myself, his camera movement, it was handheld, but it was hardly moving at all. What that tells us as an audience is that he is a character that's in control. Visual narrative is a great way to reflect the current condition of a character, but also an entire scene. For example, a library, you would expect it to be nice and smooth, a place of control, a place of learning. And so the camera would be what? Nice and stable, static even. Let's put a student in there who has an exam. They're worried, anxious. This is the most important exam of their entire life. Do you think a stable, nice and smooth camera would reflect that? Absolutely not. You're going to use the visual narrative of micro jitters, free motion of the camera, uneasiness to reflect how that character is feeling. Not too dissimilar to what we've just watched. The last thing I want to touch on regarding visual narrative would be the use of depth of field, so the aperture. These shots were ridiculously shallow, which enhanced the viewing experience and made it, well, more cinematic. Lovely soft backgrounds, or when on the subjects, beautiful sharp sections with a nice roll off. It also made it easier to move the viewer's eyes or to tell you where to look on screen, and that segues beautifully onto focus. It actually felt as if there was a focus puller here. They made the camera work feel very real, and I think that shows how amazing this cinematic team is. You had pull focus from one subject to another. You had subjects walking into focus. There were times when the camera was moving that it lost its focus point like a real operator. My favourite one was when the lead character stood up for the second time. The focus wasn't bang on. He wasn't sharp is what we would say on set. He was standing there for a few frames before it became sharp, before it found its focus point. All I can say is, wow, that was a touch of genius, a chef's kiss, should we say, from the director or whomever DP'd this project. Man, it made it look real. Honestly, round of applause on that. Now let's talk about my favourite thing as a filmmaker, the lighting. It was gorgeous. Most people watching would call this golden hour, but in fact it isn't. This was blue hour. Blue hour is when the sun has just passed the horizon, and it's my favourite part of the day, and the reason for that is the colours. You have primarily a blue light giving a soft glow, a lift should we say, and then you get your oranges, reds and purples mixed together on the horizon giving you warmth. Not only is it visually pleasing, but it's the best for soft lighting. You might as well have a low lit softbox all around you. Honestly, it is stunning, it's lovely and soft. Beginning of the day or the end of the day, so golden hour is fantastic for creating texture. texture, long shadows, and that golden kiss that you get. Blue Hour is more dramatic, should we say. Yes, you've got lovely enhanced warm colours, but that blue light that you get, it carries weight in the colour spectrum. Blue is primarily associated with a low mood or sadness. However, it can also represent depth, loyalty, and trust. Sounds a little like the dialogue that we've just heard. Another thing that made this very cinematic when it comes to lighting is the subjects. They were backlit. Backlighting is very powerful, very emotive, and gives you that cinematic look, should we say. Being your key light, your main light source, the subjects will pop on screen, like these characters did. It also gives you contrast in the shots. Then what you do in this case, so you've got that blue light all around you, is you use it to lift the darkness ever so slightly. What made this sweeter visually was what I mentioned earlier regarding this hour of shooting, and that is the softness. The rule of thumb is, granted primarily in commercials, is softer the light, the more expensive the ad is. Films are slightly different, as the DP, so director of photography, will have a look that they want to achieve, but primarily they will follow the same rule. They're going to want their talent to look as beautiful as possible. So softer the light, the more beautiful it looks. Overall, as I said in my opening to the breakdown, I think this was the most powerful cinematic I have ever seen. And you know what? I'm going to go one step further. I think it's my favourite one too so far on this channel. Not only did it captivate me with its beautiful, almost real life visuals, but the story, the emotion, the score, everything coming together to create a cinematic that will forever leave a lasting impression. There is an absolute ton that I loved and that I could talk about here. For example, the character's body language. On screen, body language, so that means talent delivery and film psychology. But I'm not going to go into that today. The reason being is I do not know the lore, and nor do I know these characters as well as you guys, the fans, and I can only theorise, look on as an outsider looking in until I've educated myself. So rather than taking a stab in the dark, I'm going to leave it to you guys to educate me in the comment section down below about these two characters and the lore of these characters. And I'm going to educate myself as I continue to look at the World of Warcraft cinematics. So yes, plenty more World of Warcraft on this channel to come. And last, I just want to give a shout out and say thank you to my Patreon members. Thank you guys for helping me keep creating content like this and keeping the lights on, should we say. And I just want to give a special thank you to my Cobra Kai Black Belt members, Jamie Rowe, Josh Epstein, and One Armin. Thank you so much for helping me do this and giving me the extra support. It means the absolute world to me. And yeah, thank you so much guys for believing in me and being fans of the channel. And there you have it. That was my reaction and breakdown to the War Within cinematic from World of Warcraft. I really hope you enjoyed today's video, guys. And if you did, give it a like, as it really does help out the channel and video. And would you like to see some more? Well, if that's the case, consider subscribing, and I'll see you on the next one. See you later. Bye-bye.